Hey, it's Jeremy from the Z Farm. I hope that you've enjoyed watching my videos as much as I'm enjoying making them. And I want to let you know that I plan to keep on making these videos as long as there's somebody out there willing to watch them. This video today is going to be a little different than any others. I want you to know that I might get a little emotional, and it may not be a story that young children should listen to. I want to tell you a story. It's a fictional story. I want to tell you the story of Farmer Joe. So Farmer Joe was born the fourth generation on his family farm out in central Iowa, kind of rural area, now big towns around. Farmer Joe was a born farm boy. As a baby, if his mother couldn't get him to calm down, she would take him out to the tractor, and a 5-minute ride in the tractor would put him to sleep every time. When he was a toddler, his favorite place to go was his grandmother's house because she had carpet with little squares on it, and to a little boy like Joe, it was fields as far as the eye could see. When he was a little bit older and able to go to the farm with Daddy, he loved to get Daddy the wrenches that he needed and help take care of the animals and just ride in the tractor cabs. When Joe was a little older, as a teenager, he didn't want to play high school sports because he just wanted to be driving tractor home on the farm with his dad. Joe went away to college, but he came home every weekend because he knew his place. He knew where he wanted to be. After school, Joe came home. He bought a farm, some farmland. He had to borrow the money. Made things really tight for him, but he did it. He got married, had a couple of kids. Life was pretty good. Well, when Joe was about 40 years old, his dad passed away. And the extra burden put a lot of strain on him and his family. But he knew it was his family's operation. His dad had built it, his grandfather had built it, and so they persevered and they pulled through and they made it work, and his farm continued to grow. But as time got on, it was pretty obvious to Joe that his children, they didn't want anything to do with farming, and they kind of went on their own paths and went their own separate ways. Joe did the best that he could to accept this, but it always kind of weighed on him that there wasn't another generation coming in. When Joe was around 50 years old, he went through some really tough times in farming. He had a few bad years, and he had to leverage out pretty far just to keep the farm afloat. And then a really bad year hit, like the one we just went through in 2019. Joe didn't know what to do. His bank was calling, wanting to know how Joe was going to repay them. He was facing losing the farm that he had built, and his dad had built, and his grandfather had built, and his great-grandfather had started. Joe was lost. He didn't know what to do. He'd talk to his wife, and she'd say, "It's going to be okay, we'll find a way through." But Joe didn't believe her. He couldn't see an end, that he could come out on top. Joe's world was crumbling around him. Everything that he knew to that point, everything that he'd lived for and built was coming unraveled. And Joe didn't know who to go to for help, or even if he could or should try to find help. And so the weight got too heavy. And one day Joe took his own life. Ladies and gentlemen, this story happens every year, all over our country, all over the world. One study suggests that farmers are 5 times more likely to take their own lives than the average citizen, and even twice as likely as a veteran. This is staggering, and it's something that needs to be changed. Farmers need our help. Anyone struggling with that kind of weight needs our help. Farmers, veterans, everyone. If you see someone who is carrying a heavy burden and you think that they are struggling, if you just have a notion that they are struggling, take the time to talk to them. Sometimes a simple conversation, even a light conversation, can change someone's mindset. And if you really believe that they are contemplating suicide, or not even suicide, drug use, alcoholism, any number of mental disorders that come from too much stress and strain, please reach out to them. At the end of this video, I'm going to put up some phone numbers, and I want you to take the time to screenshot them and save them in your phone. Because, ladies and gentlemen, these phone numbers save lives. Thank you for your time.